Let's summarize the module. And the first thing we looked at was these three different types of injection. Error-based injection. And we saw that in this module, that internal SQL exception bubbling up through the web application, which wasn't keeping that error private. Union-based injection, combining multiple results together. We're going to see that in the next module. And blind injection, that advanced injection attack, where we'll look at Boolean-based blind injection and time-based blind injection later on in the course. The main thing is, though, three different approaches of varying degrees of complexity that may be required depending on the nature of the app. Now, we also saw how simple SQL injection can be, because it can just be one character. That quote is the canonical single character injection test. So many times it just takes that one keystroke to demonstrate that there is an underlying risk which now deserves a little bit more probing. Now, one of the ways that you might do that probing is with a tautology. So this always true sort of function where we append something like a 1 equals 1 to a clause so that that is always true and it can actually negate another condition, such as looking for a particular record or filtering the result set down. So tautologies, very, very useful. And as we saw, they can even be used to circumvent access controls by exploiting the login. And finally, we looked at sanitization of this untrusted data. So the data that comes from an external party that could be malicious. Certainly as an ethical hacker, you're going to try and make it malicious to see if you can break through the defenses of the app. And you really want to understand how good that app is at actually recognizing that malicious data. So is it doing what our app just before was doing and just letting anything in? So being very, very permissive? Or is it saying that only certain strings are allowed? And if your payload as an attacker gets through sanitization, then you know the application might have some serious problems that deserve a bit more probing. So that's the fundamental mechanics of SQL injection. It's time to go on now and start looking at how we can find the underlying schema and the really important part of this course, actually starting to extract data from the target application.